Hello, I'm Dave with Prism, and in this video we're going to give you a quick introduction to BizFighter and to the business competition ahead of you in the class. And the learning objective is that you walk out of the class and the competition, win or lose, with improved business decision-making skills. So in the class we'll review business acumen, finance, strategy, and leadership. Concepts that you use as you run your company. And the BizFighter class really has two parts: the business simulation itself, BizFighter, and the lectures and discussions that we'll be having. So we're going to break the class into several teams, and each team is going to run a separate A&D company in competition with the other teams in the course. And you'll be running that company for several simulated years of the competition. In between the competitive years, we'll review strategy and finance concepts. We'll have short discussions, mini lectures, and then you'll have a chance to actually apply the concepts and test them out within BizFighter. Your first task is to complete some pre-work, which is outlined here. On the first morning of the course, we're going to have a pop quiz on this pre-work, so you want to be prepared. And the first step is what you're doing now, which is the case study introduction video. We also have another short video of the BizFighter tool, kind of a demo. You can take a look at that. And then access the pre-work site. And you're going to receive an email from your course administrator with a link. And we'd like you to read the documents that are marked as required. And if you have some time, there are also some other recommended articles that will further prepare you. And then you'll be ready for the class and for the pop quiz. You and your teammates are running an A&D company in competition with the other teams that are in the class. And the way to think about the class is as a business laboratory where you can try some things out. But your team will need to define a mission and strategies and then manage and execute on that mission. You'll be making marketing, finance, and program management type decisions. And one round of competition equals one simulated year. But as I say, you need to execute on the mission, not just draw up great plans and strategies. You have to actually execute, create value at the company. All of the teams are going to start at the same position in the competition. And it's what you do with that company from here, your mission that you establish and how you execute, that will make a difference. And at the end of each year, we're going to give you feedback on your performance and how the overall industry is playing out between the competing teams. And the winner will be the company that does the best after all of the years in the competition are finished. So during the class, we'll tell you specifically how we'll score the competition, so more to follow on that. If you think about all the things you do at a company, managing programs, finance, human resources, etc., all of those things need to fit together to produce a result. And to produce a result in BizFighter, you're going to need to think about some things that can sometimes be blind spots for companies. Things like strategy and mission planning to set the stage for the company, finance and financial analysis, the importance of a customer-focused marketing approach. You'll have to think about how the different parts and functions of the business build upon each other to create overall business value, and the importance of understanding your company's relative position compared to the competition. And also you'll be working in teams as you run this company, so you got to think about that group decision-making process as well. And you're going to practice some of these things a little bit differently than perhaps in other classes that you've taken. You and your teammates are going to actively run this company rather than just sitting and listening to lectures. That's really why we call it a business laboratory. You'll be presented with a lot of data, and you're going to have to decide what's most relevant to you as a company and your teammates. And it's okay to make some mistakes, take some risks. If you're more comfortable with supply chain, let's say, don't just focus on supply chain in the competition as part of your team. If you're more comfortable with biz dev, don't just do that. So get involved outside of your comfort zone in other parts of the business. And we do find that teams that work well together tend to do better in the competition. And one of the keys is to set that mission and then focus on it and the end goals that your company has formed, not just on the short-term development. And we think it's important, and hopefully you will too, to have some fun as you do this. But we are going to give you a lot of new information, or at least you're going to really practice and refresh your memory on some of these concepts. It's going to feel a bit like 10 pounds of information in a 5-pound bag. But it's up to you to take what's important and utilize that in your real job. Let's take a look at a sample agenda. This won't be the exact agenda that you'll see when you come to the class, but your program administrator will give you details about the timing for your course. But to hit the high points of the agenda, on day one, we'll give you a chance to get familiar with your company by doing an as-is analysis or SWOT analysis. And then we'll talk as a group about strategic planning, then break you into teams for a round of the competition after you set your mission. And then we'll talk about financial reporting, the income statement and balance sheet. On day two, we'll start with some financial ratios specific to the A&D industry, and we use the results of the first rounds of the competition to illustrate the concepts. And then we'll have a final set of rounds, 1 or 2 additional rounds of competition, and we'll wrap up with teams giving after-action reviews of their company's performance and execution and a discussion of the final results. There may be a slightly different schedule or even additional days of the course depending upon the BizFighter class that you're in. And kind of as an aside, as you run your company, you want to keep in mind some key metrics that are common in the A&D industry, and you see a list of them here. Things like bookings and margins, employer of choice. It is a competition, and we'll be examining these KPIs, these metrics, as the drama of the competition plays out. Okay, we're done with the intro video, and the next step is for you to watch the demo video of the BizFighter tool, and then go to the pre-work page online and read the documents that are marked as required. And if you have additional time, as I mentioned, there are also some recommended articles. So thanks a lot, appreciate your time, and look forward to seeing you in the class.